Hello, my beautiful friends. So I thought I would come back and do a reading with my new cards, see what I think of them. It's kind of funny because I've been trying to catch up on videos, and I probably subscribe to about, I don't know, 100 different channels, and they range from 17 different channels on bagpipes from different bands, and of course the World Championships. My band won, grade 1, which is like the highest grade, and goes 1 to 5, and 1's the highest. Well, it goes open. Open is part of 1, but anyway. So I'm trying to catch up, right? So one of the guys I follow is a guy named Jacob Todson. I'm going to link him below, and I was catching up on some of his videos, and his most recent video is about astrology. And so I have a complicated relationship with astrology because I don't really understand it, and like him, I kind of like, it's interesting. It's probably bullshit, right? I don't know. But when you do your star chart and you read like the, stuff that you get from it, it's pretty spot on for me. I don't actually know my birth time, but but generally speaking, it's pretty accurate. So, the cards that came with my Happy Life box were she had replaced out. If you watched the previous video, she had swatched out something that's Buddhist. For these Celtic astrology cards, and I thought, wow, they're really interesting. And so, I cracked them open, and then for my birth date, I'm Ivy is my flower, and then Butterfly is my animal. And then I pulled the card, and I pulled the stag, which is just ironic because today I sat in the middle of a country road because I had taken a wrong turn on my way home from work, from our Pocono mountain campus. And I sat because like a baby had gone across, a baby deer had gone across, and then like another baby deer, and like I looked in the woods and I could see there was a whole like little gaggle of baby deers and a mama deer. So I kind of waited, and like the last little deer was like so afraid to cross the road, and I'm like, please cross the road before some idiot comes speeding down this road. And I'm trying to protect him, and I've always been very, very connected to the deer. And the symbolism of the deer, and I don't know what that says about me, but anyway, this is what happens when I don't talk to y'all for a while. I just keep going on and on. Anyway, so then I had pulled the stag, and so they're interesting cards, but I don't know how to read them, so I have to learn a little bit more. I didn't run them through smoke yet or do anything with them, other than just sort of like a test or whatever. But I don't know how you read them, so I will look into that. But I thought I would do a reading of my regular runes because Moon Mama, I'm like looking for my box. Hold on. Look, I'm sorry if you're staring down my cleavage. I'm not sure what you're looking at right now, but it's probably my cleavage or my shirt. So I had gotten this box. Clan Young is our family name. And I got a box for me and a box for my brother. And, and I if you follow along in the playbook, you know that I have, I'm very tied to my Celtic ancestry, both Irish, English, and or both, thrice, Pictish, Scottish, Irish. And I had DNA testing done, and there were some surprises in the results, Jerry Springer-worth kind of stuff. And I thought how interesting it is. I'm not sure if it's better or worse to know your ancestry and to learn the secrets of people who have lived before you, because it can cause some angst. And I'm pretty grounded as a person, but it can make you question your identity and who you are and what you believe. But I definitely I really am a mutt, as it turns out. But I really do identify with the Celtic part of that muddishness. So I just want to say too, if you watch my previous channel, that this beautiful stone, it reminds me of an angel. Like every time I look at it, I think of an angel. And so like I really, really like it. And again, crystals are one of those things that like I think are pretty, and I'm sure have power, but I don't really know how to harness that power. But this is like my angel stone, and I really, really like it. But anyway, so I've been keeping my runes and cards that I use most in this box, just as a way to tie to my own culture and you know, what I believe and who I believe I am. So I have, you know, all kinds of cards. If you follow the channel, you know I fall in love with some, but the thing that I do the most are the runes. So let us ask Spirit. I'm just going to clean their energy a little bit in this. So I could just ask Spirit for a message of like where we are, what I should be focusing on. I have a green man stone connecting to nature, and Bridget's cross connecting to Bridget. Our stones from the Isle of Iona. That's the one I picked. And then I have one that I purchased so that I could support the local economy. And then I have my Icelandic stone in here somewhere. I did take some of the stones out and I put them in a special dish of because people bring me stones from all over the world. But this bag was starting to get too heavy with other rocks. So these are the ones I have in here. And then I have all my other special beautiful rocks from Mexico and from Ireland. I have them in the back behind me. So let's pick one stone from Spirit and ask Spirit to guide our hands and tell us the message that we should hear. We have Kenaz. Kenaz is an interesting stone. So Kenaz means torch, right? Light, shining, illumination, and light. And I'll give you a more in-depth description. A handy dandy book. If you're new to the channel, this is where I have all my notes that I've taken over a bazillion years of reading runes. So, vision, creativity, inspiration, vitality and improvement, hope, passion and light, creativity, enlightenment, teaching and learning, ancestral knowledge, warmth and illumination, creativity and clarity, controlled fire, spiritual strength, and if it's inverted, which I don't read the inversions, but if it's inverted, or you feel it is, it's like a learning block or blocked light. It's interesting, it's going back to school time, and I was an English professor for most of my career, and now I've moved into administration, but I still teach. This is the first week of classes at the university where I teach, and it'll be first week of classes at the college where I'm an administrator, and you know, I love this time of year. I love new school supplies. I love the newness of learning, right? Like, that's just that embarking on, like, I'm going to learn something new. And, you know, I go into, you know, stores and I'm like, oh, I need new back to school stuff. I don't need anything really of any kind of material thing. But, you know, I get myself sticky notes and things like that because I just want to do it every year. Because I've always been a student, and so as we move into these harvests, we are into the 3 harvest festivals now, starting with the Lunasa, and that's the one in the summer. We have 2 more. You know, it's a time of learning and personal spiritual growth, and so I'm very excited about that. And I think you know, Kenaz as a reminder to not just be a torchbearer. We always talk about light and love. Be that. Yes, be that. However, follow the lights of others, right? Learn from others when you can. You know, watching videos from my sisters, watching videos from Jacob, you know, watching videos where you can learn and grow and edify and really, you know, hone in on the things that you're passionate about. It's that season of learning, right? So I've been really drawn to this Ascension Oracle deck. Lately, I have, you know, my favorite decks that I use all the time, but I'm going to read from this one tonight. This is a new deck for me. I would not have anticipated that this would have resonated with me, because typically I stick with the Celtic sort of themed things. But I don't know, the messages I get from here are pretty good. So let us see what the cards say, shall we? If you're new, I shuffle 3 times, and I knock 3 times. I do things in 3. In the Celtic Trinity. Alright, we're going to go through 3 times and see what Spirit has to say that go along with Kenaz. So, Spirit, please guide us as we listen to your message. Again, if you're new to the channel, I don't believe that runes or oracle cards predict the future. I think they're for reflection and work with with your personal space in the world, right? They don't predict the future, but because we all have free will, but they're great for reflection. That was past 1. This is past 2, and past 3. These come out in groups a lot of times, so we will read them in the groups that come out in. So first to come out were Mind Garden and Return to Innocence. I have to cover the card because there's nudity, and YouTube does not allow for that. So Return to Innocence and Mind Garden. I am going to look up what these two mean in a minute. But the Return to Innocence, the very first thing I thought is, like, as a student, I've been a student my whole life. I'm a nerd. Like, and I am not talking like little nerd. I'm talking big N nerd. I teach English, learn to program, teach programming. I just learn things all the time, and I'm very blessed to be a quick learner. But I love to learn new things and, new traditions, and new languages, things like that. And so, but there's an innocence, because you always have to go back down to the baseline, right? So, as a professor, I'm an expert in my field, right? I'm an expert in literature, American literature. My field is archetypal theory, which, if you want a rabbit hole, look that up. But, I'm an expert in that field. I'm an expert in AI. I'm an expert in things like that. But when I learn something new, I get to go back to being innocent and not knowing anything and letting the experts teach me and letting their light be what guides me. And so that return to innocence is definitely connected to that theme of become a learner, become a student. In our culture, we sort of we want to be experts in whatever we're experts at. We want people to follow us. And certainly as a teacher, that happens every day, but you have to be a student to be a teacher, right? So I'm going to look what Mind Garden means in a minute. What were the other ones that came together? So these popped out together. There's a whole bunch of them. Empowerment, transmutation, presence, and live the way. So I am going to go and read what those cards mean and sort of come up with a summary, and then the other two cards, and I'll be right back. So hang tight. I won't make you wait while I read. So I'm going to hop in just to talk about what Mind Garden means. Sow seeds of love in the garden of your mind, and heaven on earth will be realized. And the phrase I like from this is, cultivate only seeds in your mind garden that you truly wish to grow. And I think that's interesting because, for 12 years or 13 years, you're required to learn what other people say that you need to know, right? In the school system, wherever you live in the world, whatever school system you're involved in, other people decide what it is you need to know. I teach American Romantics. I'm teaching that right now. And our romantics believe that you should be an individual and you should learn the things that you want to learn about, and so, there's all kinds of room in our heads for things that we want to learn about, and then we think we have to learn this. And in the spiritual community, I think the same thing happens. Like, you're only a good witch if you learn X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm not a witch, so I don't know what those things are. You're only a good Celtic spiritualist if you learn X, Y, and Z, or you believe X, Y, and Z. Nonsense. You're a grown adult. You can believe whatever you want. You can learn about whatever you want, right? So if you have never had permission to do it your own way, I'm giving you permission. But I'm also giving myself permission. If you are new to the channel, I was going to be a nun, very religious, brought up in a religious household in the very strict Anglican tradition, not to be confused with American Episcopal. And I have to often give myself permission for deep-rooted things that have been infused in me. And this is just a reminder, as you learn and you return to innocence, give yourself permission to learn the things you want to learn and to call BS on things that you think are BS. It's okay. You're allowed to call BS. All right, I'm going to go back and read these other 4 cards. What an amazing collected message these 4 cards were. And really, the theme of them is that, you know, you choose what you want to learn and you choose what you believe. And just because somebody tells you something, even me telling you, doesn't mean it's true, right? You have to discover your own truth. And you do that through presence, being present in the moment, by living your truth. Obviously, your truth can't hurt other people, right? But living, you know, being empowered to believe in the deities that you want to believe in. You know, for me, it's Christianity. And it's very hard to be a Christian in a community that mostly is not. You know, I have these glasses, and there's this hair that's driving me crazy here, which is just like a tug from spirit. You know, sometimes it's hard to be a Christian in pagan communities, right? Because a lot of people have been very poorly treated by Christians, and that's part of it. But it's okay. It's okay for me to be a Christian. It's okay for them not to be Christians. Like, we don't, in our culture, one of the things that Jacob talked about in his video, I don't remember which video this was because I watched a few of his that I'd been behind on. It was about hate and how the internet profits from hate. And it's absolutely the truth. And, you know, over centuries, you know, Christians have profited from hate. They've made entertainment and spectacle out of torturing people, calling them witches. And make no mistake, I'm a Christian, but I would have been burned as a witch at, you know, any given period in Scottish history when that happened, as an herbalist and, you know, with my belief system. So it's really important that we're present with what we believe, that we constantly evaluate what it is we believe and how it is we express it. And when we express it with kindness and without judgment, right? Like cards talked about, just don't judge others. Let them walk their path. Be a light on their path. Let their light shine and inform your path. Jacob, I think, is pagan. I don't have to agree with him to, you know, find or resonate with his content. You know, I can be interested. You know, just because I learn a programming language doesn't mean I'm going to program a game in it or anything. You know, just because I learn a concept doesn't mean, you know, I used to laugh when I was younger because, you know, they're like, oh, you can't hang out with those people because they're this. Like, I don't know, is that contagious? Like, do I not have free thinking mind that I can listen to that and be like, wow, that's a beautiful tradition. It's not my tradition, but it's beautiful. We all have power to not embrace the negativity. And in this election cycle, and that's, I think, is what Jacob was talking about, you know, our media loves to prey on our you know, dissatisfaction with other people's views and call everybody names. Like, just don't get caught up in it, right? Just don't get caught up. Spend this time, especially from now until November, doing edifying things that bring joy and meaning to your life. Don't get caught in the negativity. What a great message this was today. I hope this resonated with you. I would love to hear your comments below. Be well. Take care. All the best in light and love. Bye-bye.